All right, witches. It is another week, which means it is time for another Vexxed cards for the Coven. We haven't done one in a while. I've been busy, life stuff, I just haven't had the energy. So hopefully, this one makes up for it. We'll see. But someone in the Coven has been mistaking defensiveness for strength. Your confidence has been worn down so badly that now everything feels like a threat. And the version of you that comes out under pressure is sharper, meaner, and more exhausted than you want to admit. The cards revealed what happens when hurt hardens into hostility. All right, so you already know what this space is. This is not your soft little collective reading where I pet your hand you a crystal, pour you a drink, and tell you everything is just divine timing, honey. No, this is where we sit down with the cards and look at the problem underneath the problem, the vexation, the thing that has been twisting around in your life, your reactions, your patterns, your relationships, and maybe your own damn attitude. Yeah, look in the fucking mirror, bitch. I say that to myself all the time, whether you wanted to admit it or not. So let's just get into it, okay? Let's get into it. This week, we're working with the Rider-Waite Smith tarot, and the energy here makes me kind of want to cry, to be fair. It's quite loud, not dramatic for the sake of drama, but it's still a little dramatic, I would have to say. But loud because the cards are pointing to someone whose confidence has been so worn down, so singed around the edges, that what is coming out now is not strength, it's defensiveness. It's irritability. It is meanness disguised as self-protection. And that brings us to the vexation, which is the Seven of Wands reversed. We have fire energy, Mars and Leo energy, the tower meeting strength. Seven. The seven is a strange number. Seven often speaks of mastery, fate, responsibility, myth, secrecy, the trials you do not choose, but are still expected to survive. With the Seven of Wands reversed, the trial is no longer being met from a place of steady conviction. It is being met from depletion. In the upright, the Seven of Wands says, stand your ground. However, in reverse, it starts sounding like I am so damn tired of having to stand at all. And also it can be like I'm just fighting anything and everything to just because I can't, just because that's where I'm at in life right now. I'm like, I constantly have to fight that I don't even think anymore. I'm just fighting. Mars and Leo should have spine, heat, pride, vitality, a sense of personal fire that says, I know who I am and I will not be pushed over. But reverse, the fire is not clean. It is scorched, distorted, reactive. Leo wants dignity, but Mars here under pressure starts snarling. So the vexation here is not simply low confidence. It is what low confidence has made of someone. Somebody in the Coven has been so chipped away at, criticized, challenged, overlooked, undermined, or disappointed that instead of becoming more honest, they have become more hostile. They snap, they posture, they bristle at everything. They think they are guarding themselves, but really, they are leaking exhaustion and hurt all over every room they enter. And let's be real, pain doesn't always make people soft. Sometimes it makes them sharp in all the wrong places because people like to be, oh, pain is a lesson, blah, 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 blah. And no, it doesn't always make you soft at all. Like sometimes you have to get there. You have to get to the place where we allow ourselves to navigate that. So it makes us sharp. It makes us, mean in all the wrong places. So if this is yours, okay, the problem is not just what happened to you. The problem is the version of you that has formed around it. All right. And so I want to take a moment here to express like there is nothing wrong with us being in this vexation. That's just where we are currently. Life has fucked us over far too many times. We get into a space where people just want to consume and consume and consume whatever. You don't have to be a content creator or a creative individual to be consumed. Everyone has a role that they play for people in their lives, and people take advantage and take for granted, and they just consume and consume and consume until you have nothing left to give, but you can't stop giving because you don't know how else to be. And so you're fighting and you're fighting, and you're just becoming more disgruntled and angry and frustrated with yourself, with everyone else, and you lash out. That's where we are with this vexation. Don't judge yourself for being in that space. It happens to the best of us, right? It's a life. And so what you're not seeing, the 10 of Wands reversed. Fire, Saturn in Sagittarius, the world meeting Temperance, 10. Here is the part that bites. The 10 of Wands reversed says, the burden has gone too far. 10 is a sort of completion, culmination, the end result of a pattern carried to its limit. In fire, that becomes burnout. In Saturn in Sagittarius, it becomes the crushing realization that your beliefs, your perspective, your way of handling all of this has become a sort of prison you keep hauling around on your own back. So what you are not seeing is that the load is no longer noble. At some point, suffering stopped being proof of endurance and started becoming self-sabotage. You keep carrying everything, every slight, every fear, every old story, every expectation, every reason you think you have to stay guarded, defensive, hard, suspicious, controlling, or cold. And maybe, once upon a time, that weight did help you survive some. Fine. But now it is making you insufferable to yourself and exhausting to others. The 10 of Wands reverse says release is available, but release requires honesty. You have to admit that you are not just burdened, you are burdening. That is the difference. Saturn and Sagittarius here are interesting because Sagittarius wants meaning, direction, philosophy, the bigger picture, and Saturn wants consequence, structure, maturity. Together, they say, grow up enough to realize not everything you carry belongs in your hands. If you keep refusing to see that you are part of the problem, the burnout does not just continue. It isolates you. It hardens you. It leaves you alone with a pile of burdens you call principles. And I think that's so important for us to also recognize is like, it is okay for us to be in this spot, but it's important for us to understand that we are also part of the problem. We have to be okay. We have to be able to look in the mirror and confront ourselves. We shouldn't be acting the way we are acting. We need to be releasing and navigating these beliefs and patterns and programming that we're carrying with us, that are holding us back, that are burning us out. It is time to let go of certain things. It is time to release certain things because they don't matter anymore, and we don't want to take them with us anymore because we want to feel better. What is actually happening? The full reversed. Air, Uranus, 0. And here is the real engine under the whole reading. The full reversed. 0 is possibility before form. It is the open road, the sacred sort of stupidness required to begin. It is trust and risk and openness, wonder and innocence. In reverse, that openness gets warped. It can become hesitation, bad judgment, emotional immaturity, recklessness, or the refusal to learn because one is too enchanted by one's own point of view. What is actually happening here is not just insecurity. It is egoic arrested development. This is somebody whose hurt has made them difficult, but whose pride will not let them admit it. The full reverse can absolutely carry that my shit does not stink energy. It really does. It can be like this naive energy twisted into arrogance. It can be someone who does not play well with others because somewhere deep down, they still think everyone else is the problem. It's not me, it's you. They are so busy reacting that they are no longer reflecting. Uranus, in its high form, disrupts so that liberation can happen. In its distorted form, it rebels for the sake of rebellion, just because it resists, just because being corrected feels intolerable. So, what is actually happening is this: you are stuck in a pattern loop of immature self protection. Your defensiveness is wearing the mask of independence. Your stubbornness is wearing the mask of authenticity. Your inability to cooperate, soften, listen, or adjust is wearing the mask of strength. And the cards are saying, no, babe, no, that is not strength. That is fear with its lip curled, right? This is why I want to cry. What happens if you don't listen? What happens if you don't do something about this, right? You know, 10 of Swords, air, Saturn and Gemini, the world meeting the lovers. 10. This is where the reading stops knocking and kicks the damn door in. The 10 of Swords is finality. It is the end. Air brought to its most brutal conclusion. Thoughts, stories, betrayals, patterns, conversations, perceptions, all brought to a point where they cannot continue as they have. Saturn in Gemini is merciless in this context. Gemini rules communication, perspective, duality, exchange. And Saturn says enough. The world says completion. The lovers remind us that choices create consequences and relationships cannot survive without mutuality. Oh my God, I can't say that. Clarity and truth. So what happens if you do not listen? Something dies. Maybe it is a relationship. Maybe it is your place in a community. Maybe it is the story you keep telling about yourself or others. Maybe it is the way you have always handled conflict. Maybe it is your social life, your credibility, your emotional support, your access to intimacy. But something ends. And honestly, it would not be random. It would be the natural consequence of letting your exhaustion rot into cruelty, your burden rot into martyrdom, and your insecurity rot into ego. This card is not here to scare us. It is here to be blunt. If we do not change our ways, the current version of this story has nowhere else to go. It is finished. The question is whether it ends as devastation or as necessary death. So what do you do? Well, first of all, I think it's important to look in the mirror and to face ourselves. It's really important to understand like our responsibility. Like we need to hold ourselves accountable. Our responsibility in this situation or in our life right now. We have to admit our problem, right? We do not have to take full blame if we're not fully to blame, but we do need to share in that. We can't be the innocent here. We're not. So what do? You stop confusing defensiveness with self-respect. You stop making your wounds everyone else's problem. You put down what does not belong to you. You name your burnout for what it is. You apologize where apology is due. You take a hard look at how hurt has shaped your behavior and whether that behavior is still something you want to keep feeding. You do not need to become spineless. You do not need to let people walk all over you. Absolutely not. But you do need to stop acting like every interaction is a battlefield where your dignity is under attack. Not everything is a challenge to your worth. Some things are just consequences. This reading is a hard mirror, absolutely, but it is also an opening because the moment you can admit, I have become difficult because I'm hurting. I am hurting. You can start doing something useful with that truth. Then the fire can become courage again. Then the burden can be released. Then the full can mature. Then the ending can be transformation instead of ruin. Okay. So if this was yours, you already know. You felt it in your bones, right? You felt it before I got to the 10 of Swords. So take the mirror, my friend, and use it. Use it, okay? And do not wait until life has to rip this lesson out of your hands. With this sort of vexed cards for the Coven session, you have information now to utilize and work through and navigate. So do so. If this was yours, might have not been yours, but if it was yours, or if it wasn't yours, let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought of the cards and what was being said. But yeah, uh, thank you so much, everyone. And if you haven't already, go ahead and check out our website, gloamandpestle.com. I'm in the process of really reworking it. I think I have the homepage almost close to where I want it, and then I'll start adding a lot of other stuff. If you enjoy like this session or Vex cards for the Coven, I do monthly, weekly, and daily transits and divination with, like, again, astrology, astro witch stuff. So astrology and cards. Again, monthly, weekly, daily. Okay. I've been writing a lot as well on Patreon. So you can join as a free member too. And that just gets you access to the stuff I don't share publicly, which is a lot. But yeah, check it out. I have a lot of great stuff that I share with everyone, and you can ask me questions, and I'm happy to help where I can. You can find me on Threads, find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Facebook as well, The Deviant Witch. But yeah, check me out. Anyways, I'm going to head out. Thank you so much for letting me share this with you. I appreciate y'all, and I will talk to you all. I can't say next week because I don't think I'm going to do it every week or every other week. I just have to pace myself. Yeah, I'm leaving. Goodbye.